Welcome. I have some exciting news to share with you today. My name is Andrea Brown. This is Thrival Now, where your biggest problem is your greatest opportunity. So I'm pleased to announce that I have finished the 75 Hard Mental Toughness Challenge, which I started 75 days ago, and includes what I imagine most of you know are 5 components. It involves doing 2 45-minute workouts a day, one of them outside, eating a structured diet. Doesn't really matter what it is, as long as it is structured like keto, vegetarian, carnivore, and with no cheat meals or cheat days and no alcohol. Third, it involves drinking a gallon of water a day, reading 10 pages of personal development of some sort, no audiobooks, they don't count, and finally taking a progress report or progress photo each day. And so I am stoked to be done. I think my family might be more excited that I'm done even than I am. And yes, it is a challenge. It was hard. It was even harder to upload videos every day like I had been doing. And at some point with the commitments we had for business, I dropped the ball with that. And so here I am, honestly, just wanting to get back into the flow of things, doing videos. And so I'm excited to announce that it's done. If you were somebody following along and if that impacted or my dropping the ball affected you, I'm so sorry. But thank you for joining me here. Thank you for understanding. Life is full of surprises, and I kept the commitment to do the 75 hard, but the commitment to do the videos was secondary, and that was not something I could do with the other things that were going on in our life. But honestly, let's see, the takeaways from the 75 hard. First, it's well worth doing. Any mental toughness challenge is worth doing. The component really is centered around physical fitness, but it is definitely something to take you to the next level in your fitness. It would probably be very hard to do if this was your first thing. That's why I've become a proponent of the 75 mini that I've done a video on and shared about, something I coined where, you just do one mini habit for 75 days, something so ridiculously small you can't fail on your worst day. Others have come up with things like the 75 soft, a modified variation of the 75 hard you can also check out. But it is well worth doing, number one, because for adding fuel on the fire, especially when it comes to change and doubling down or upping the ante in your health and fitness. For me, I think that the results I can share, I lost 8 pounds through this, doing the 75 hard, but it feels like I lost double that. About halfway through, my husband and I started lifting at the gym again. We haven't done this since we were engaged or first married, so that's been almost 13 years. And he twisted my arm to join him, and we started lifting. And my husband has a background as a fitness coach, and so he totally challenged me to lift harder than I've ever lifted. And I felt it. I got a lot of results. So we've been lifting about 3 days a week for the last month, maybe even 5 or 6 weeks. And because of that, not only do I feel stronger, and it's been amazing to see muscle definition and be reminded of muscles that I haven't seen in a while, but just the way that I feel like it's helped me tone my body is as if I've lost 15 or 16 pounds. And so we've been talking about another fitness challenge to do for the next season in the next few months, which maybe I'll share in my next video and invite you to join along on that. But if there's anything I can encourage you, it is to recognize more than just jump-starting things, more than just getting immediate results. It's making health and fitness a part of your lifestyle. It's hard to be the one saying this because this is an area I've come from a deficit at lately. For years I was an athlete. If you've listened to any of my videos before, you'll know a bit of my story from years prior. But when I got into entrepreneurship and after we got married, we had a number of challenges out of the gate and got pregnant right away. And so there was a multiple facets that led to what resulted in me putting myself really at the bottom of the pile, or just not doing the self-care that I needed, and led to me gaining over 40 pounds in the last 11 or 12 years. And so when I started this channel, it was because I recognized that we so often self-sabotage ourselves, and we just take ourselves out of the running. We don't even give ourselves permission to run our race or do what we're made to do because we feel like we are missing something in one area. And so for me, being overweight, I was playing it small, basically. I wasn't showing up in the way that I wanted with my speaking and consulting business because I was lacking some confidence, and I felt like I had it all together. My husband and I, we were getting breakthrough in these other areas, but when it came to my health and fitness, especially knowing that I'd been an athlete before and that I was clearly not an athlete, it messed with me. And so starting these videos was, I showed up embracing what I continue to try to emphasize on this channel. And if there's one theme, it's something that over and over I try to bring to the table. It's this idea that your biggest problem is your greatest opportunity. So for me, feeling like the very reason I should not do videos or show up in this way speaking or build my speaking business was because I'm 40 pounds overweight, was the very reason I decided that I would do it. And I would even make that particular specific issue my entry point in and share that honestly and vulnerably, which I did on my very first video. And so I'm just here showing up saying I'm making progress. We're 2 years in. I haven't lost all the weight that I wanted, but from the very first day that I showed up here, I knew I didn't want it to just be about losing weight because that wasn't enough to sustain me or motivate me through it all. But my goals were to take more joy in my body and learn to play more with my children and my family. I wanted to get stronger and fitter that way. I wanted to build my cardio and endurance, and I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to lose the 40 plus pounds. And so at the turn of this year, I really hadn't lost any weight, so I'm 2 years in. I'm enjoying my body way more. I've built the cardio. I've been committed with doing a couple cardio and HIIT classes a week, and I was doing CrossFit for most of last year and playing pickleball a couple days a week. And so there were many ways that I was making progress. In fact, I was kicking it in 3 of those areas that I thought, and the only thing that I was still struggling in was losing weight. And so the 75 Hard, committing to the structured diet, was probably the thing that forced me more than anything. And with my husband's help, actually, being quite the avid cook in our house, honestly, he was the one that kicked my butt, helping me get into training mode at the gym, but also he was really helping me to eat even higher protein and just being really aware of my snacking and my portion sizes. He was kind of looking over my shoulder in a coaching way that really challenged me to be more self-disciplined when it came to food than I have been in a few years. So not only have I lost the 8 pounds, it feels like I've lost double that because going to the gym, I've built muscle in ways that has been joyful. And I mean, he's pushed me harder than I've ever been pushed in a gym. I've really loved going with him, and we're excited to keep going. It's so important to make yourself a priority. It's kind of like the idea of being on an airplane, and if the airplane is going to crash, it doesn't do you any good to save everyone else on the plane if you haven't put your own oxygen mask on first. And so when it comes to life, we need to be taking care of ourselves first, focusing on sleep, eating clean, and moving our body and the things that it takes for our mental well-being, our physical well-being, so that we have something to give to those around us. Because if we are depleting ourselves, we don't have anything to give. And that's really where I had gotten to. Excited for the next step. Looking forward to starting a new challenge with my husband, and hope to share that on one of our next videos. No matter what area of your life you're struggling with, whether it's financial, relational, maybe also physical or fitness like I was struggling in, this is the time to make the change. You can start with something small. The 75 mini is just a ridiculously small habit, something so simple that you can't fail on your worst day. And that's where I started 2 years ago. You can go back and see some of those initial videos. So excited to be back, kind of in the groove, looking forward to doing videos again. Thank you for your grace. Please be sure to subscribe and share this with someone that needs it today. I'll see you on the next one.